Summer is officially here, and that means the Islanders of Casco Bay are getting ready for a busy season. We took the ferry across, and now we are live from Peaks Island for the latest edition of Now Hits the Road. Hello, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg, and as my friend Keith would say, the astronomical summer has started, and that means many of you are planning vacations, including Amanda. She's off for the next few days, which means we've got this guy hanging with us, and what a beautiful place to be live from Peaks Island on this gorgeous Friday.
Gorgeous. You know, not all upgrades are linear, so you have to deal with me for today. But it is also the first so far on the road edition we've done where it has not been raining.
Hold on,
I got censored. Hold on, there'll be another one.
Of all the times you should have been censored throughout this program, and that was the first time we got one put through.
We could use one of those in the studio when I'm at the green wall.
I like that.
Hit me with the horn. Yeah, beautiful day out.
So when we tell you we're live, now you know we're live. There's our foghorn, just in case there was any doubt of where we are. Okay, so there are so many islands on Casco Bay to visit, which means there are a lot of choices for visitors to pick and choose where they want to go. Not only where to visit though, but what to do, what to eat, and you know, what do you do when you get there? So we took a look at some of your choices. At Great Diamond Island, things are changing. 2 years ago, the Inn at Diamond Cove opened, which gives visitors a place to check in and stay. On weekends, the place is pretty much always at capacity, and once people get to the island, it seems they don't want to leave.
Well, most guests at first are a little hesitant of how do I get to the island, but once it's explained to them how easy it is to access the island, they're all aboard. And most leave saying that they'll be coming back, or they wish they had extended their stay or had more time to stay, and next time they return, their stays will be longer.
And while you're on Great Diamond, you can have a great dining experience.
Diamond's Edge Restaurant, this is Jane. How may I help you?
The amazing food at Diamond's Edge is only rivaled by the amazing views. Make sure you have a reservation and an appetite. The island also offers a place to make memories, lifelong ones. Lots of people come to Great Diamond to exchange diamonds in their wedding ceremonies. Speaking of weddings, the Inn on Peaks Island is the most popular of all island spots for that, with 38 scheduled for this season.
The sun sets right over the water. It's a 15-minute ferry ride. You get an island wedding, which is a very unique thing in Portland. And as far as convenience, you get the car ferry, so vendors can take their vehicles over, bands, DJs, florists, all that stuff, so it's extremely accessible for everyone.
You don't have to get hitched to enjoy your time on Peaks. There are plenty of golf carts available to take for a spin, as well as bundles of bicycles and kayaks as well. The views from Peaks are gorgeous, and the place leaves you feeling like you are truly on vacation away from it all, even though you're only 3.8 miles from downtown Portland. I tell you what, we came out on Wednesday to shoot that story, and it was just so beautiful out here, and really every day this week has been gorgeous. And
been good.
I mean, even now,
we do have a fog bank rolling in, as you can probably tell at home, which is a very main thing to happen. Just have a fog bank come up and sneak up on you. Got a lot of showers out there. Let's have a look at the radar, because there are a bunch of showers coming in with this warm front, stretching back not only from northern Maine, but back into parts of New Hampshire and Vermont as well. We did expect a lot of that activity. Let's zoom in across southern Maine and see if we're going to get lucky here on Peaks Island. It looks like a shower we'll get into just west of Portland and up into the Wyndham area there. There was a thunderstorm, but it's kind of died out in the last half hour or so. The more consistent rain has been across northern Maine at this point, Millinocket up into Holton as well. That's the warm front trying to clear up there. You know, it's been sun dependent, our temperatures have. There was a period when we first got here that was sunny. It was almost hot, almost. The dew points have creeped up. It's officially 74 in Portland, but look down into Concord, New Hampshire, 85 degrees. That is the warm air we're going to get into tomorrow. And Lee, I think tomorrow is actually going to be a pretty warm day. We start with a few showers, but I'm trying to plan beach for tomorrow afternoon. And you're invited. Don't be weird. Okay, you can come.
So you hear that, guys? Everybody's invited to go to the beach with Keith tomorrow. What beach are you going to, and where are you going to be sitting?
Pine Point.
All right, save enough seats for everybody. Keith will be the guy in this bathing suit that's probably too small.
Purple Speedo. Okay, so we came over on the ferry.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about the islands, right? Is the uniqueness is how do you actually get to where we are live on Peaks Island?
Right, it's actually relatively easy, and a lot of tourists do it, but it's also a lifeline for people who are year-round residents of the island. We have Chris Costa, who is going back and forth.
He's right there, I can see him.
He's going back and forth on Casco Bay. Let's talk to him.
He's on the ferry. Coco!
That's right. Yeah, hey, Lee and Keith. Yeah, obviously Islanders rely on the Casco Bay Line's ferries just as part of their daily routine, like getting to and from work. So the Casco Bay Ferry Line says that they transport about 1 million people, about 30,000 vehicles, and about 5,300 tons of freight each year. But the ferries are not the only way to check out the islands. On a summer afternoon, hundreds pack a Casco Bay Line's ferry.
Smell of the water, the ocean. Oh, yeah, you can't beat it.
Captain Andy Gildart feels the same way after more than 20 years on the water.
You know, I've thought about what else I would do, and I think it would have to be something hands-on. I don't think I could be cooped up in a box.
But for those short on time, water taxis get you closer to the waves on your way to the islands. After 20 years at the helm, Steve Lazarus decided to become a captain full-time.
I was a software consultant, traveled all over the country, and I retired about 3 weeks ago. This is my retirement plan.
For others, there's chartered boats like the UB-85, a decommissioned Navy boat. Gene Willard has been a senior captain for 38 years.
I love it. I just like being connected with the bay, the people, the islands. So I love it.
No matter the vessel, you can enjoy the journey as much as the destination.
Any free spirit needs to be out here.
And speaking of free spirits, if boats aren't really your thing, you can always go for a swim. All right, it took me a little while to dry off after that one, but here we are in the middle of Casco Bay. You can see right there in the background Fort Gorges. A little bit foggy out here today. Much more beautiful shots, obviously, that you saw when we were on the boat earlier this week. But you know what? That's just kind of part of the fun of being out here on the ferry. Sometimes you get fog, sometimes you get sunshine, but just to be out here on the water, really, it's just incredible. Lee and Keith?
He jumped in the water, dude.
I heard it.
Like, he legit jumped into the water.
Not with expensive work equipment.
No, he had a wetsuit.
That's good.
I mean, but I'll give him partial credit because he had the wetsuit, but I'll give him credit.
Oh, wetsuit, yeah. We just want to see if he would get seasick. We'll just send him back and forth until it happens.
He's been on the ferry for like 2 hours.
So far, so good.
Yeah, so someone else who knows what it's like to be on the ferry is Amanda OBrien, and she joins us now because she takes the ferry every single day to work and to home, and this is where you're from. Thank you for joining us, by the way.
Thanks for having me.
So you're from here. You're one of the handful, kind of big handful, that lives here year-round on the island. What is it like to live on Peaks Island year-round?
It changes a lot from winter to summer, right? I think that's pretty obvious. So in the winter, there's a few of us hardy folk out here who double down on our outdoor gear. But it's also a really quick commute into the middle of the old port. So a lot of people commute back and forth every day. Sometimes it's actually harder in the summer because when you're trying to commute back and forth every day with your groceries or to get to work, other people are coming out to day trip or to do what people do.
So you were raised here, you moved away here, but then you came back. What made you come back and say, you know what, actually this is where I want to be?
It's just an amazing place. So I've joked before that, you know, when you're a teenager, all you want to do is get off of here because there's not a lot to do. But, you know, as I got older and I traveled and I saw a lot of places, I was like, you know, I've seen better sunsets on Peaks Island. You know, I've had better neighbors on Peaks Island, and there's just this community out here that I think is missing a lot of other places, and it's still here.
Real quickly, the weather nerd in me has to ask, a good nor'easter out here, it's got to be pretty awesome.
Yes, pretty awesome. Yeah.
Awesome to me.
So on the front is what you see here. You've got sandy beaches, ferry coming in and out. The back is where it's good. It's a good time because that's where you're going out towards the actual ocean. The waves are epic. So there's lots of really smart islanders out there in their cars with the windows up, just watching the waves crash. And there's also great, you know, foraging after the seas leave.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it, and enjoy your beautiful island during the summertime. We'll try to be respectful while we're over here.
Thank you.
I speak for all of you people at home. Be respectful. She lives here, okay? All right, coming up on now. It might be the best way to see all of the islands in Casco Bay. We will hitch a ride on the mailboat.
Certainly pirates around, and probably many more than are documented, because if you successfully hung out from the authorities, there'd be no trace of them now.
And is there a pirate treasure hidden among the islands of Casco Bay? Katie Bavosa went hunting for an answer. Well, one of the most popular ways to get around this island, if you've been out here, is golf carts, but things about to change there.
Yeah, the Portland City Council voted earlier this week to pass stricter rules for golf cart drivers. This comes after warnings from islanders who complain of issues like drunk wedding guests speeding around the island and parents driving with little kids on their laps. Golf cart rental operator Robert OBrien is on board for the changes.
There are the occasional boneheaded customers who think that they're driving a golf cart, and we remind everybody that they're driving a motor vehicle on city streets, and most people pay attention to that. The people that get complained about are the ones who don't pay any attention.
All right, here are some of the new rules. Golf cart operators would have to have a driver's license. Nobody can stand on a moving cart or ride in the lap of a golf cart driver or passenger. The City Council passed the rules unanimously, though there is some concern that the new rules would be difficult to actually enforce. So we'll see how that all shapes up. All right, coming up on Now, we are treasure hunting, well, kind of, the myth and legends of pirates on Jewel Island when we come back.
And we'll have the full forecast. Friday, obviously a few showers, but we'll be talking about the weekend. Also,
and just for the record, it is actually raining a little bit here on Peaks Island, so I'm just, technically speaking, this is now the fourth Friday in a row that we've hit the road and it has some type of rain. So
probably have to wait for another season to see if we can do better.
Well, we got next Friday.
What do we do next Friday?
We're going to Booth Bay.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Nobody tells me that.
I tell them everything.
Nobody tells me anything.
We're going to Booth Bay next Friday.
Anyhow, the islands of Casco Bay have a ton of mysteries to explore.
Yeah, and I was too scared to go. So was everybody else. So we sent Katie Bavosa, the bravest one of us all, to head out to Jewel Island and check out the mystery of Captain Kidd's buried treasure.
Jewel Island is one of the smaller, less traveled to islands in the Casco Bay. Located 8 miles offshore of downtown Portland, if you don't own a boat, the fastest way to get there is by water taxi. During the summer months, Vinny Murata lives here on the island as the caretaker, a job he's held for more than a decade.
I would not know what I would do otherwise. There's that personal desire to want to take care of it.
Murata has heard all the legends surrounding Jewel, including the most popular one, that the notorious Captain William Kidd buried treasure here before being captured in Boston, Massachusetts and sent back to London, England, where he was executed in 1701.
Just knowing that there was activity out here at that time leaves the possibility that there's treasure.
But did it really happen?
Well, it couldn't have been Captain Kidd. We know exactly where he was on certain dates between the time when he captured all his treasure and when he was thrown in prison. And there isn't an opportunity for him to have taken a side trip in Maine given the sailing times at the time.
But researcher and author of The Republic of Pirates, Colin Woodard, says other pirates really did pass through Casco Bay to hide out amongst the islands, including the crew of Captain Samuel Bellamy of the Witta Galley.
The Witta was destroyed in an enormous wreck where Bellamy was killed on Cape Cod, but other vessels in his pirate flotilla had arrived and were waiting for him. There were certainly pirates around, and probably many more than are documented, because if you successfully hung out from the authorities, there'd be no trace of them now.
So, could pirate treasure still be buried somewhere in Casco Bay?
It seems unlikely, but I suppose it's possible if you want to hold out hope.
On Jewel Island for Maine Mysteries, Katie Bavosa, News Center.
All right, now while pirates did pass through Casco Bay, we are not suggesting that you head over to Jewel Island and start digging up the island over there looking for any buried treasure. That would be a bad idea. Don't do it. There is still some way to see pirate treasure if you're interested. Items and even some money found from Captain Bellamy's Witta Gallery are on display right now at the Portland Science Museum, so you can go check it out there and leave poor old Jewel Island alone.
And you can do some science while you're at it.
Yeah, like what makes rain?
What makes it rain 3 drops on us? Let's show you the radar right now. The little itty bitty shower, it's just trying to make it so that we can't get a news center now on the road that isn't raining. That's it, just a little tiny shower there off the coast of Portland. Not much to it. There is a lot more rain across northern Maine, where the warm front is kind of currently hung up. in that neck of the woods. As that warm front continues to work through, we will see temperatures get a little bit more mild overnight, but more so into the day tomorrow. That's where we're really going to see things rocket into the mid-80s. I think it'll turn out to be a pretty good beach day after we get the showers out of here through the first half of the day. You'll see that sun come out quickly in the afternoon, and it's what I consider a quick recovery kind of day. You'll wake up to clouds and showers and think that we blew the forecast, and then by the afternoon, hopefully you won't think that we blew the forecast anymore. We should be in good shape. Sunday looks good with a lot of sunshine, particularly through the first half of the day. The second half features an isolated chance of a thunderstorm in the mountains, but most of us will end up staying dry there. If you take a look at our small scale radar, you see the showers continuing tonight off and on, a little bit more in the mountains and foothills. Then we start to clear those out by tomorrow morning, and again, it's a sharp contrast, a sharp clearing line that occurs by late afternoon. Temperatures get really warm on the backside into the mid-80s, particularly along the coastline over southern coastal Maine. Next week is an interesting pattern. We've got these little disturbances coming through. For the most part, they bank up against the mountains, so there's going to be a higher chance of showers in the high terrain than there will be along the coastline there. So you'll see that reflected in our 7-day forecast, where we've kind of reduced the chances of showers along the coast. They're not zero, but there'll be less of them. And if you're heading up into the mountains, or if you live there, you'll see a lot more shower activity. So that's kind of where we're at. Nothing blockbuster in the pattern. I don't see anything that has us at 95, but I also don't see us going back into that abysmal May kind of pattern that we were in for a while. So
Maine Diego.
We'll take it.
That's what I'm calling it.
Yeah.
Maine Diego.
Yeah.
Right in the middle, baby.
Right in the middle.
All right. The ferry service between Portland and Peaks Island is certainly the most popular of the different ways to travel back and forth, but there is a secret tour that will get you a look at almost all the islands in Casco Bay. We sent Amanda Hill on the mailboat.
Casco Bay Lines is one of the main ways locals and visitors travel between Portland and the islands.
I've done this 1,000 times, and I've never gotten tired of it.
It's also the easiest way to get anything you need across the bay.
We get deliveries pretty much every day for the various inns out there.
From groceries to potties, I'm talking anything.
I mean, it's everything and the kitchen sink frequently.
This is the mailboat. While its main purpose is delivering the necessities, it boasts one of the best tours of Casco Bay for a very low price.
This is the last standing signal tower in the United States.
Sit back and relax, enjoy the view, and your captain, Gene Willard, who's been piloting the boat for more than 3 decades.
McKinley Estates, Diamond Cove.
Willard and most of his crew grew up on the islands. They know all the best-kept secrets and share a few if you ask nicely. The tour will take you from island to island while the crew works quickly. Hop off and take in the sights if it's a big delivery, but make sure you don't miss the boat back out. You'll be waiting a while for the next one.
Off forward.
An incredible view you won't get from the shoreline, wildlife spotting, and a history as the tour passes along from island to island, all on a cruise with the cargo.
This is the oldest lighthouse in the mainland United States, commissioned to be built by General George Washington.
Well, first of all, Amanda, thank you for doing that story before going on vacation. Second of all, a little tip for you, it's BYOB, so pack a lunch.
Bring some food with you and some snack. So that mailboat tour, oh, by the way, was just featured by Condé Nast, the highly regarded publishing company, so that's a huge pat on the back for tourism, certainly in this area. Bob Witkowski with Visit Portland is with us now. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
Do you think that people understand that these islands are still actually part of Portland, at least most of them are?
I think that's actually a piece that people don't get. I mean, what people don't understand about the mailboat is that it is one of the longest operating mailboats in the United States, if not the longest. And the fact that the islands are part of the Portland city limits is something that's actually just a level of magical that works for our community so well, and the greater Portland area. Some of them, you know, Chebeague Island is part of the Casco Bay Islands, although that's not technically Portland, but they're all connected with the ferry service, so it's a lot of fun.
There's a lot to do on all of these islands. Is there one attraction, if you will, that's the most popular kind of everybody does that?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, it really is about interest level. I would say the Great Diamond Island and the Diamond's Edge restaurant is something that people really gravitate towards quite a bit. I think people like coming out to the 5th Maine Regiment Museum here, designed by Frederick Thompson. If you're a military or history buff, you know, certainly some great restaurants in all of them. Chebeague Island Inn is a grand Victorian hotel in the old tradition, which has an outstanding restaurant. There's really just something for everyone on every island. If you like to bike, you like to hike, you like to swim, or you like to just take a ferry ride and get out in the water.
Yeah. All right, Bob, real quick here. Your job at Visit Portland's got to be getting easier because people are visiting Portland.
Well,
walking down Commercial Street, they're visiting.
I like to say we're doing a good job.
Yes, I think so.
We just want to try to get them here in the wintertime, and because the thing is, this area, you know, it's competitive. It's probably even more, you know, wonderful than New York and Boston in the wintertime. Yep. We've got Broadway shows, 2 ballet companies, an opera, a symphony, fantastic restaurants. So if you're going to go for a romantic getaway to New York or Boston, why not come here for a fraction of the price?
Bob, I agree 100%. And I'm going to try some of that food. But right now, when we come back, Katie Ortiz is going to try some of that food. Thank you for your time, because it's French Friday when we come back.
Hey everybody, Katie Ortiz here. It is French Friday, my favorite day of the week. We're actually at the Inn on Peaks Island. Beautiful spot to stay. It's actually just a straight shot as you get off the ferry. Also a great venue, fabulous restaurant. There's actually a wedding going on right now as we speak. But we are here to talk about fries. I'm eating these amazing sweet potato waffle fries, and they have a fabulous red pepper aioli. Earlier on in the show too, we also talked about Great Diamond Island. The Diamond Edge restaurant. Fabulous fries, so amazing that they actually caught the attention of a very prominent Maine summer resident.
What we do for our fish and chips dish is we get a vinegar powder that we dust our fries with, so it adds a nice little acidity to the crunch that you just don't get with just putting ketchup on your French fry. Barbara Bush actually loves the salt and vinegar fries that we sell here.
What'd she say when she had them?
She said she loved them.
All right, I'll just be here, so back to you guys. You're not getting any, by the way.
Yeah, we're well aware we're not getting any French fries from Katie. Hey,
your fries
we want to thank the people at all the islands who helped us out in putting this show together. It was awesome. It was beautiful. Get out on the bay, travel around, and see what this beautiful area has to offer.